So welcome to the Arah Path 2 Level 80 Explorable Mode Dungeon, one of the hardest dungeons in the game. Now for this one, the Path 2, the intro of the dungeon is quite easy, so I will not be talking about that, like how to do and skipping mobs and stuff like that. So I'll be skipping this for now, and I will come back and talk about the first boss and what you need to do for the first encounter of the game. So I'll just leave you to leave you to it and leave the video to run for now, and I'll come back and talk about the first boss.
Gaining adrenaline. Too strong.
So for the Arah Path to the first boss, all you need to do is to come close into combat with him and dealing damage to him in close range. The reason for that is because he has a very powerful range attack from afar. So if you are standing far away from him, you most likely will get one shot. So come close to him and try to deal damage to him in close combat, and also try to avoid the AoE around the map, as you can see in the video, and you will also see it in the when you start in the dungeon, that you have a lot of bombs AoE around the map start popping out. So just try to avoid them and dealing the boss and start dealing damage to the boss in close combat, and you should be fine. So I will see you in the next part for the puzzle.
For great justice.
Element of fire, obey me!
Knowledge is the greatest treasure.
So for this puzzle, all you need to do is to get onto the other side of the map and activate the waypoint. Now, there are two ways that you can do it. First is that you just skip all other mobs and run to the other side all by yourself, but it can be a little bit difficult if you don't know how to do it. And if you have any mesmer or if you have any thief in your team, you can ask them to stealth themselves and run to the other side. But if it's not, then if you prefer to do it the normal way, well, in the video I did not do it the normal way because we had somebody who just run to the other side, so we chose the first option, just waypoint to the other side. But if you prefer to do it the normal way, all you need to do is to have 4 of your teammates to pick up the rifle, and the last person, which is you or somebody who is comfortable enough to get onto the golems. And what the golem's gonna do is that it's gonna push back all of the spiders standing around the map. And so once you have the golem pushing back the spider using his ability, he needs to have his energy recharge, and the only one way that you can recharge his energy is using the rifle. So 4 of your teammates have to time it accordingly and recharge the golem energy to push back the spider. Now the rifle has 2 ability. The first one is the recharge, as you already know. The second one, which will explode and deal massive damage to the giant undead that's standing like in the middle of the dungeon. And this is crucial because like you need the second ability to one shot them, otherwise they will keep on pushing the golem and everybody is dead. Also, once you use the golem, once you use the rifle ability, it will disappear. By disappear I mean like it's out energy and it's gone, so you cannot use it again. And so you need to look around the map, like underneath of your feet and on the ground, and there will be a lot of rifles lying on the ground, so you can pick them up and charge the golem. Or yeah, so if you're not comfortable with that, what you can do is like doing you do the first option, is that you just run, use any stability to make yourself stable, immune to any immobilize or anything like that, and try to just run away, run to the other side, get to the waypoint, and get your teammate to waypoint it easy and fast. But if you prefer to do it the golem way, feel free.
Buster!
Anyone? Help!
Reinforcements requested.
Oh, my leg!
Death! Gorge!
So we have come to the second boss of the Arah Path 2. Now The second boss, he has a very powerful range attack, as you can see in the video, and as you can see when you start running this, that it will have a symbol on top of his head. I mean, like underneath of his description, that will say like very powerful range attack. So whenever he starts throwing rock at you, just try to dodge that one because it can deal a massive damage to you. Now, aside from the range attack, he also will turn himself into a berserker. Now, the berserker is a massive form that will deal a lot of damage to the team. And the only one way that you can turn him back into normal is that when the first time that you come into this fight, you will notice that there are a lot of inquest mobs standing around the map. So your first priority is to kill the inquest first. Now once you kill the inquest, they will drop something called tranquil rifle. Now, and the tranquil rifle, what it does, it will minimize the boss back to the normal size instead of having to deal with him in a berserker size, and that's a good thing because you just don't want him to become a berserker and deal a massive damage to your team, most likely instantly kill. So once he starts turning himself into a berserker, pick up the tranquil rifle and then start shooting him with it, and it will turn him back into the normal size. Now if you are not comfortable enough, by I mean comfortable enough is that you come into close range combat with him and start meleeing him. If you are not comfortable with that, what I would suggest you to do is to shoot him from afar using your ranged weapon, and yeah, just repeat the process until he's dead. So I will see you in the next part.
Gaining adrenaline for great justice.
I feel good. Gaining adrenaline. Need help here.
For great justice.
Replenishing.
Iron, rain, and ice. I feel furious.
Great justice.
I could outrun a centaur.
I am rock and soil.
For great justice.
I feel furious. wind, heed me!
I feel strong.
I can't see!
Medic.
Replenishing. I could outrun a centaur.
Gaining adrenaline.
Element of fire, obey me!
Adrenaline rising.
Feel the adrenaline.
I feel furious!
Ready. All you want.
Element of fire, obey me!
Ready for justice.
I am the wind! Entering combat. I nearly died. Thanks. I feel furious.
For great justice! Can't breathe.
So for the fourth boss of the Arah Path 2 dungeon, there are two ways that you can do it. One, you can pull her to the back of the map, just like what I did when I first came in. Now, if you prefer to do it that method, all you need to worry about is that when she put out the bomb, it will explode to an area around her, so that's an AoE effect. So just have to dodge that one and come back and start killing her. Now, the second method is that you can let her stay where she is, and then all of your team just have to come in and start dealing damage to her. Now for the second method, what you need to watch out for when she's starting to summon her minions, and whenever she starts summoning her minions, they will deal damage to the team from far away. By far away I mean like range attack. Now, if you have any feedback, which is the mesmer skill for reflection, or if you have any wall of reflection from the guardian or anything that can reflect back to the minions, that use them, because it's gonna save the team and let and allow them to focus onto the boss. And the boss is not really that hard, to be perfectly honest with you, because it only took us only a minute to kill her. But because we are a berserker build, which is very heavy on critical build, so we kill her very fast. So aside from that, just do what you usually do: stack a lot of might, which is quite important. Stack a lot of might, and then start bursting the damage and just kill her. Now, for the next part, which is gonna pull a lot of people off, and by pulling people off, I mean they're gonna have a lot of problems trying to do this part, because there will be a lot of mobs standing in your way, and you just have to skip them all and try to get to the end of the dungeon, which is the final boss. Now the final boss is easy, you don't have to worry too much about him, but before the final boss you need to skip a lot of maps in order to reach onto the other side. Now if you are not comfortable with skipping the mobs, just like what I did in the video, if you are not comfortable with that, and your team are not good in terms of running past the mob and skipping and getting the full team to onto the other side, I would just suggest you to kill them all. Alright, just kill them all if your team is not comfortable with skipping all of the mobs, because face it, if everybody try to skip and everybody just like fail during halfway through, then it's not really worth the time for every single one of us to just keep on doing that, like I mean skipping on the mobs. So if your team is not comfortable with skipping the mobs, just kill them all, and then you get onto the other side, get to the boss. Now for the final boss, surprisingly, he's quite easy. First, you need to activate on the panel to transforms yourself into a ghost form. And what it does is will allow you to bypass the berry. And by the time that you get inside to the boss, you can start dealing damage to him. Now you just have to keep on dealing damage to him until he reaches about 50% of his health. And then once he reaches about 50% of his health, every single one of your teammates will transform into a ghost form. And by the time that they transform into a ghost form, they can bypass the security barrier, and they can start dealing the boss. So aside from this, stack a lot of might, deal a lot of damage to him, and watch out for maybe AoE, but the AoE recycle on the ground doesn't deal that much damage to you, to be perfectly honest. So just stack mine and kill him. This is the one of the easiest one. So after you've been through all the struggle for the first half of the dungeon, I think that you deserve to do the final boss a little bit easier. So have fun, enjoy. I will see you in the next video for another path.